If you missed my last video, I'm on a meal plan now, and I've had back-to-back low days, so I haven't had a refeed day or a high day in, I think, 2 weeks. I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. I feel a little bit hungry, but like hunger is kind of the aim of the game at this point, so if I wasn't hungry, I'd probably be worried. The goal has been to get my weight to 126, and I was kind of holding just under 127 for a little while. It felt really stubborn and it felt really hard to budge. Last week, my weight was 126.8 and today I was 124.8. So after prioritizing sleep over the weekend and having just back-to-back low days and completing all my cardio sessions, I've been able to drop 2 pounds in the last week, which is great. I'm thinking that my coach is gonna give me a refeed this weekend, but we'll see. Also last week, both of my coaches noticed a huge difference in my physique, and I noticed it too. Everything just is really tightening up. I've definitely leaned out more, and it just goes to show that the scale weight doesn't really reflect everything that's going on. I think I didn't get enough sleep last week, and that probably caused a little bit of like hold in the scale. But also what you look like on stage is what you're being judged on. They're not judging you on how much you weigh. It really just matters what you look like, and if you're seeing any progress in your physique, then that's really the most important thing. And I saw a huge difference in my progress photos from 2 weeks ago to last week, and I'm really excited to see what this week's progress photos are gonna look like. Another update from last video, I've been drinking matcha now consistently every day. I actually have cut coffee out completely. My energy levels have been so good. I've seen such a big difference. I didn't even really intend to fix anything with switching to matcha. I think I was just getting tired of having coffee with Splenda. I realized in hindsight how terrible I was feeling in my energy every single day. I think what was happening is I was having coffee in the morning and then I was crashing, so then I was having more coffee to combat the crash. And then the cycle just continued, and every day at like 5, 6 o'clock, I felt like I could literally knock out and fall asleep on the couch. And I don't think that's normal. And I was kind of just blaming it on prep, but it felt a lot like just being hit by a bus. So anyway, since I've switched to matcha, I'm having more sustained energy throughout the day. So yeah, my energy levels have been great this week. My appetite is fine. Cardio has been good. My coach gave me the option this week if I wanted to dig a little deeper to add 5 minutes of cardio to the end of every session. I decided to go for it. I was like, you know, what do I have to lose? What's another 5 minutes on the Stairmaster when I'm already doing 50? I'm just about to eat my dinner, and then after dinner, I have a couple things that I need to do. I have to meal prep chicken. In my meal plan, my coach said that I could switch out fish for chicken if I ever got tired of it, and I've been having fish now for weeks in a row, and I kind of was getting the fish egg. I've never really liked chicken breast, but I was doing it shredded. So I was boiling it and then shredding it, and I was really enjoying that. But I bought some seasonings, and tonight I'm gonna do seasoned chicken breast, and I'm gonna throw it in the air fryer. So I'm so excited to try that for the first time. And then I also have to prep some asparagus as well. I have ground beef and rice that I took out of the freezer that I prepped a couple days ago. And then I have to build a little coat rack, purse hook sort of situation. I'll show you. I ordered on Amazon and it came today, and I'm excited about that. So since I've been living here, I've been putting my purses and my jackets on that bench, and I hate the bench. It's hideous. It was very cheap, and I plan on replacing it for something wooden, maybe a little bit more natural, kind of matches my vibe. It's been my junk bench. So clutter gathers on that bench, and I absolutely hate it. I found this adorable coat rack tree on Amazon, and so I ordered it. I just put it together, and I think it looks so cute. It's like the perfect solution for quickly hanging things up when I come in the door. I just sat down to talk about books, and all that I can smell is this massive, gorgeous bouquet of flowers that my mom got me. I don't normally keep fresh flowers in my house just because I don't buy them for myself, and I find that houseplants are easier to care for and they last a lot longer. So I don't buy them for myself, but whenever I have them, I'm reminded of how nice it is to have them around because they smell so good. This week, I got some really good news about a really big work milestone that I've been working towards for, I guess, 2 years now. And it's super exciting, and I got the news yesterday. So my mom actually surprised me by dropping those off on my porch while I was working. I didn't even know she came by, so that was so sweet. I am so excited for this next chapter. But anyways, I think the last time that I talked about books, I had just started Powerless, and I was only a little bit into it, so I didn't have much to say. I wasn't sure if picking up a fantasy was gonna be the right move getting into the summertime. I usually like to read summary books in the summer. I've only read a handful of fantasy books. I only just started reading fantasy like in the wintertime. And so my mind kind of thinks of fantasy books for winter. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to get into this, but I loved it. It was so beautifully written. There were so many quotes that had me like giggling and kicking my feet. I think Kai might be my favorite book boyfriend or like male lead. So I gave this a 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. It also broke my heart. The ending of this book is so heart-shattering. It's like, you just don't expect it. So I thought after I read this that I would read the novella, Powerful, but after I finished, I was like a little bit emotionally hungover. I finished reading this on the Stairmaster at the gym, and I was like fighting back tears on the Stairmaster. So after reading this, I decided I'll take a break. I'm not gonna read Powerful yet because I know it's just gonna be a whole other world of pain. Now hear me out. I started A Court of Thorns and Roses months ago. Like, I read Fourth Wing, I think in January, and then right after Fourth Wing, I was like, I have to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. So I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I loved it. That book really solidified that, like, okay, yes, I am a fantasy reader. I love the way that it was written. I love the characters, and I love the world. So I started A Court of Mist and Fury shortly after that. I don't know what it is about this book, but I'm finding it a lot harder to follow. I fear that I am stupid. I'm about 3/4 through, so I'm almost done, but I've been reading it in tandem with other books. So I'm just reading it while I read other books that are a little bit easier to read. Especially if I'm on the Stairmaster, I need something that takes my mind off of what I'm doing, not something that needs a lot of mental attention, which I feel like this does. I understand the hype. I'm gonna keep reading the series, but I just am not as attached to it as I was in the first book. And then I picked up The Serpent and the Wings of Night. And this book made me realize what I love in fantasy. I think what I've learned over the last few months of diving into the world of fantasy and different authors, different worlds, I love high stakes. So the thing that I loved about ACOTAR was that it was very high stakes. There were trials. The whole thing was like keeping me on my toes. I loved it. It was almost like a thriller, but in a fantasy world. Fourth Wing was the same vibe. It was less world building, more high stakes, trials, romance. This book is the epitome of everything that I love about fantasy. It has decent world building, not too intense politics. The romance is so good. It's slow burn. It's sort of enemies to lovers, I guess. And the stakes could not be higher. Every page in this book, there's something going on. There's never a moment where there's a lull. It's keeping me on my toes. I want to keep reading it. I honestly don't even want to finish it because I'm loving the reading experience so much. And I've ordered the novella that comes after this. So as soon as this is done, I'm going to read that novella. And I'm thinking that this is going to be my favorite fantasy series. I know it's a little too early to say because I'm still in the first book. And that's the thing that I love about reading, is that every book teaches you a little bit more about what you like and what you don't like. And even if you don't like a book, you still learned what you didn't like. So that's my little reading wrap up. I have a lot of work to do with these two. I'm hoping I'll have them both done by the end of next week. I'm not sure how realistic that is because I do have a lot going on. This weekend, I'm going to a bodybuilding show, and then I have another one that I'm going to next weekend as well. So my weekends are looking pretty full, and during the week, it's hard for me to read a lot. I do most of my reading on the Stairmaster, honestly, because I spend almost an hour on the Stairmaster every day. Speaking of which, I do have to go finish my step goal. So I'm gonna take my Kindle down to my treadmill, and I'm gonna walk on my treadmill for the next hour, and then I'm gonna get into bed. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you have a beautiful day or night wherever you are, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. Bye.